Sai Ram. It was sometime in 2004 or 2005. I was a 24-25-year-old, a young adult, prime of young adulthood, and as always, facing the different troubles that come and plague during this young adulthood. There are worries of the future, concerns about the career, relationship issues, insecurities, friendships that affect other relationships, unrequited love, so many problems. It appears as if the young adult stage is the time for all problems to plague us. So back then, I sat in the Sai Kulwant Hall waiting for Swami to come for darshan. I was a student studying my second year post-graduation. Those days, Swami would come for darshan in a red Maruti esteem car. And as Swami drove out gently for darshan, he would keep his window glass lowered so that he can give the opportunity to those whom he wishes to speak to him, or he may speak to someone. That day, my mind was in turmoil and I really wanted to speak something with Swami. I wanted assurance, and I felt that if Swami wasn't there to support me, I would go crazy, I would go mad, I would implode. So as Swami's car came near, I got up on my knees and thrust my head forward almost into the window where Swami was seated. And it was Swami's immense love and grace that he responded, because of which the driver stopped the car there. As my head went in close to Swami's face, I felt so cool. Not in my heart, on my face, because the blast of the air conditioning came, and in the hot Puttaparthi environment, that blast was so welcome. I turned to Swami and said, "Swami, please control my mind." And I think the tone of my voice spoke of the desperation that I was in. Swami calmly looked straight into my eyes and said, "Your mind, you want me to control?" That was a rhetorical question. I knew that Swami was putting the onus back on me. So I said, "Swami, please help me." Swami again simply remarked, "You don't need help." As a desperate last attempt, I said, "Swami, please give me the strength to control my mind." And in my mind, I was thinking, "Swami, I am plagued by all the 6 vices: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Desire, anger, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, and pride. All of these torment me. So therefore, give me the strength to subdue these enemies and control my mind." And when I asked this, Swami said, "You already have the strength." Having said that, he turned his face away from me, looked straight ahead, and that was the signal to the driver to proceed, and it was a signal to me that the conversation was complete. That's it. There was nothing more to be said or asked. As I sat back in my place, I realized that Swami had given an important message. The message that you have to control your own mind. You have all the tools, all the strength, all the blessings necessary for you to do it. You just have to do it. Just do it. The mind is so powerful. In fact, Swami says, "Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo," meaning the mind alone is responsible for bandha, which is bondage, and mokshayoho, or liberation. Explaining it further, Swami gives the analogy. Swami says, the heart is a lock while the mind is the key. Turn the key towards the left, that is towards the world, and you are locked into bondage. Turn the key towards the right, towards God, and you are liberated into freedom. And therefore, the key in all this is the mind. The mind is the key, Swami says. And it is important that we turn it to the right side, towards God. Turning the mind towards God is equated with devotion and faith. Yes, Devotion and faith are definitely ways to understand that our mind has turned towards God. But there is a hidden component that we often miss. The missing component is self-confidence. It makes perfect logical sense. Think of it. Swami says that the mind is responsible for bondage and liberation. The mind is the key. Swami also says, liberation is self-realization. And what does Swami say about self-realization? He says the mansion of self-realization is built on the foundation of self-confidence, the walls of self-satisfaction, and the roof of self-sacrifice. So, when we put these two quotes of Bhagwan together, we realize that self-confidence has a very, very key role to play in self-realization and in the control of the mind as well. A confusion that often occurs is, isn't self-confidence and faith contradictory to each other? When I have faith, I have complete belief in Swami, in God. But self-confidence is about having confidence and belief in myself. How can I have both? If I have faith, do I need self-confidence? Again, Swami clarifies this beautifully with another analogy. He tells, when you take a balloon and fill air in it, the air is there inside the balloon and the air is there all around the balloon. The air all around the balloon is consciousness, that is divinity, God, the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient God. And Swami says the air inside the balloon is conscience, the divinity that is enshrined within each and every one of us. The balloon is the body. As long as the body exists, it appears as if divinity within and divinity outside are separate. When I have confidence in the divinity that is outside, it's called faith. When I have confidence in the divinity that is within me, that's called self-confidence. Self-confidence, it's a capital S. In Sanskrit, Atma Vishwasam. It is not confidence in the body or deham. It is not confidence in the mind or the manas. It is confidence in the divinity within, Atma. That is why it is said Atma Vishwasamu. And Swami would say, this Atma Vishwasamu should be your Shwasamu. Shwasamu meaning breath. The breath of life is this self-confidence. You cannot claim to have faith if you don't have self-confidence. On one occasion in Trai Brindavan, Swami's residence at Bangalore, Whitefield, we were all in for a Trai session and Swami came walking to sit on the jhula. It would be a memorable session. But that day, Swami seemed a little worried or upset or dejected, sorrowful. Don't know what. It was a mix and we were all silent. When Swami came up to the front, he looked at all of us and said, "Boys, you believe Swami is God?" "Yes, Swami." "Swami," that is how we answered, in unison, together. "Yes, Swami, Swami is God." What are you asking? And then Swami says, that means everything that I speak is the truth. Yes, whatever divinity speaks, that is the truth. "Yes, Swami," we all shouted again, because Swami, what is this? Are you suffering from a bout of low self-confidence? So we shouted, "Yes, Swami." Now Swami seemed to cheer up. A small smile broke out on his beautiful luminous face. And Swami said, "Then listen, all of you are divine." And there was absolute silence. There was no, "Yes, Swami," from all of us. We believe Swami is God. We believe that whatever he says is the truth. But when he says that you are divine too, Swami, tell us to do bhajans, we'll do. Tell us to do Narayan Seva, we'll do. Tell us, we'll hold workshops, we'll hold retreats. But man, how can I be God? We lack that self-confidence. And that is the reason we suffer from low self-esteem. We suffer from all these 6 vices. We suffer from inferiority complex, superiority complex. We know, especially the youth, we know the techniques of how to put on a very self-confident front, but we are so insecure within. Lot of insecurities. We grab on to our positions, we try to grab on to our possessions, we try to grab on to our relationships, we become possessive, we become, so intolerant. Because whether we accept it or not, we lack in that self-confidence. And that is because we lack in faith, in Swami's words. That's the bitter truth. Because if I have implicit faith in what Swami says, Swami has told me I am divine. Why am I even getting doubts? And now the $1,000,000 question. How do I develop this self-confidence? Well, with Swami's blessings and from my limited experience, I would like to suggest 4 pointers. The first is to start telling ourselves, affirming ourselves that we are divine. We are divine. When we do meditation, let us focus on the breath. So, hum, as Swami would say. So meaning that, hum meaning I. Swami says 21,600 times every day you are going on affirming, saying, I am God, I am God. Why don't you listen to that? Listen to that affirmation. This can become our meditation, whether we are taking a small break in between our work or studies, whether we are traveling in a flight, whenever there is free time. So, hum, the Soham meditation. And this is not ego and pride, dear brothers and sisters. On one occasion when Swami was speaking to us students who were working in the ashram, Swami said that there is no worry, there is no problem, there is no anger, there is nothing in the world because there is only you. You are divine.
God. Everything is God.
So what are you worried about or what are you thinking about? When Swami spoke such Advaita, I raised my hand and I asked a doubt. I asked, Swami, if I start considering myself as divine, is that not ahankaram? Is that not ego?
Ahankaram kaya correct.
We wrongly interpret ego as pride. Ego actually means identification. And therefore, Swami immediately corrected me. Swami said, no, that is the correct truth. Identifying yourself with the body is ego. Identifying yourself with God, that is the truth, Swami said. However, Swami continued, thinking I am God and doing all stupid things. And as Swami said, everybody laughed, I too laughed. Swami patted me on my cheek and Swami said, no, always think. When you're going to do something, remember, I am God. Will God do such things? Will Swami do this? No. Will Swami be having such unlimited desires? Will Swami get angry like this? Become a mad dog, rabid? Will Swami speak such negative things? Devastation, talk about worthlessness, talk about hopelessness? No. Think that and start doing it. It is difficult in the beginning. That's why Swami says, pretend. Start pretending. Start pretending to be divine. You will tend to be divine and you will end being divine because we are what we think repeatedly. God you think you are, God you become. Dust you think you are, dust you become. And so that is the first tip. Self-affirmation, positive self-affirmation. The second is a complementary tip, which is silencing the unnecessary, useless chatter of the mind. The mind keeps putting these thoughts of we being the body and the mind, and therefore subjects us to these 6 evil or 6 enemies: desire, anger, greed, lust, envy, pride. And therefore silence that chatter. How do we silence the chatter? Swami says, Namasmarana. Keep chanting Swami's name. Keep chanting Sai Gayatri. If Soham gets boring, then use Swami, Sai Ram, Sai Gayatri, Namasmarana. That is the second tip. And these two are enough actually to keep us self-confident. Now, extending it further, in order to ensure that these negative thoughts, which can destroy our positive affirmations, don't come to us from external sources, keep good company. Run away from toxic people. Run away, move away from toxic relationships. Swami would always say there is only one friend, God. Build best friendship with God. And that is enough. Once we grow in our attachment to God, all other attachments become weak. All other attachments fall off. Trust me, dear brothers and sisters, this doesn't mean that we will become recluses and not bother about anybody in the world. When we love Swami the most, we will be able to make fulfilling each and every relationship, whether it's between parent and child, whether it's between siblings, whether it's between spouses, whether it's between friends, whether it's between colleagues. All relationships will become so beautiful and fulfilling. Swami would give the example of a tree. The water, nourishment is needed for the fruits, the leaves, the branches, the twigs, everything. But you just need to water the root. Automatically everything gets nourished. So also Swami would say that God is the root. Nourish God with the waters of love. Automatically everything else will prosper and flourish. And finally, the fourth tip that helps me in being self-confident is to focus entirely on the efforts that go into doing something and putting those efforts as an offering to Swami and letting go of the results. You know, Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, meaning that it is your authority to do efforts. You have complete control over your efforts, but not on the results. Let go of the results. But interestingly, he doesn't say na phaleshu. Na means negation. He doesn't say no for the fruits. He says ma phaleshu, and Swami beautifully explains this means that you need to be motivated by the fruits of the action. But having done your action, having done your efforts, willingly give up the fruits to Swami. Because if I don't have a goal, if I don't have a motivation, if I don't have a fruit in mind, how will I target? If I am not aiming to reach the top position in career, if I am not aiming to have a most fulfilling relationship with others, how will I even put effort towards it? So have that goal and put in efforts. But having put in that effort, once the effort is done, let go and offer the result to Swami at his lotus feet and say, Swami, now it is yours. I am letting go of it. So you see, it's such a beautiful fine line. When we say surrender, we are not surrendering action and just sitting back and saying, Swami, you do everything. I'm just surrendered to you. No, surrendering the fruits of action. We put in our best efforts and then we surrender the fruits of action to Swami. Often the results are what demoralize us and destroy our confidence, self-confidence. But once we realize that it is Swami who is in charge, we will know that whatever be the result, whatever be the fruit, it is coming to me because it is good for me. That is surrender. I accept whatever happens as a result because that is Swami's fruit, that is Swami's gift to me. So there you are. These are the 4 tips that I have found practically helpful in my life. And I am grateful to Swami for so painstakingly, so lovingly, so compassionately blessed all of us, graced all of us and touched our lives. Dear Swami, may Atma Vishwasam become our Shwasa. Let self-confidence become our life breath so that ultimately we realize that we are one with you. You and I are one. I and you are one. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.